So hi guys, welcome to the first ever Don's Cocktail Corner. By popular demand, I'm going to share with you guys tonight Jennifer's favorite cocktail, pretty much the only drink she ever drinks, which is a dirty vodka martini on the rocks with blue cheese olives. Used to always be a Grey Goose, but we are Tito's converts in our household. So tonight I'm going to show you how I make that drink, and I hope all the Hoovians out there appreciate my lecture. Alright, so the first step is to stuff the olives with blue cheese. I've got these jalapeno pepper stuffed olives. These are absolutely Jennifer's favorite. She loves the spice. Now we're about to take the jalapenos out, but there's still a nice jalapeno flavor in the olive juice that we add later, because this is a dirty martini. So I like to use these olive picks to pull the jalapenos out. I just kind of, skewer them. Sometimes you hook them, sometimes you skewer them. Whatever it takes to get it done. So the first thing I always do is pull the jalapenos out of all of the olives. Just come right out. This would be the same if it was a pimento stuffed olive. Just pull them out. Okay, so that's step number one. So here I've got my blue cheese crumbles. Any kind of blue cheese will do. This just happens to be what I picked up at Dominic's most recently. It doesn't have to be crumbled, but that makes it easier to stuff in the olives. Especially when you get to the bottom of the tub. I find taking one of these olive picks and stirring it up like this helps get the little pieces separated so you can stuff them in the olives. And then, there's no magic to this. You just kind of try and find a good chunk and slide it in there. And I let this cheese, so I let the cheese sit out for a little while because I got distracted before I started shooting this video. And I realized that actually makes it a little harder to stuff the olives. Like, it got so soft that it's a little messier than it would be otherwise. I guess if it was way too cold, it would be hard to get in there. But when it's already crumbled, I think you're better to take it straight out of the fridge and start stuffing. But you guys can see what I'm doing here. Just, grab some cheese and work it in there and just kind of try to use my different fingers to not let it get too messy. There's other ways to stuff olives. I know that there's little injectors you can buy, or sure, you could use a plastic bag somehow to create a system, but this just seems like the easiest way to do it for me. So I'm stuffing these in advance, and then I'm going to soak them in the vodka. That's not by any stretch necessary. It's just kind of nice to get them done beforehand. And Jennifer's favorite part of this drink really is the vodka soaked olives. She doesn't really need the drink part. She just loves those olives. So soaking them in advance can only help. Alright, so I've got all my olive stuff now, and if I was going to serve this drink right away, I'd skewer 3 of them onto my olive pick right here. However, Jennifer's not going to be home for a little while, so I just want to keep these in the fridge. So I've got about 3 ounces of Tito's vodka, which I actually measured out just so we can have a sense of the proportions, although I would never usually measure it. And I'm just going to drop my olives in the vodka and set these in the fridge, and they'll get nice and happy while they're waiting for Jen to come home. So now it's time to finish the drink off, so I just pulled it out of the fridge and I ran the olive picks through the olives, so I got 3 on each one, and now I'm just going to load this with a whole bunch of ice. So you can see I loaded this up with ice, and like I said, I don't usually measure, but here I've got some olive juice I poured out of the jar. I've got nearly an ounce of olive juice in there. Just going to, if I grab just pick the olives up and down once or twice, and that'll sufficiently mix it. I probably usually put very near, we're going to call it 3/4, just under 3/4 of an ounce of olive juice to 3 ounces of vodka to a whole bunch of, I'm trying to look at the camera, to a whole bunch of ice. Now, those are the proportions that Jennifer likes. She likes it on the rocks, and honestly, there's more ice than vodka in here, and that's going to melt and dilute it over time. Other people like it served up, where you don't have any ice at all. You can do whatever proportions you want, but these proportions work really well in this house. So, cheers. Hey guys, so I felt like I didn't really film a proper conclusion to my first cocktail corner for Jennifer's favorite dirty vodka martini with blue cheese olives. So I figured as a little bonus and as a way to wrap it up, I'd show you guys the concoction I whipped up for the first time as an after dinner drink this evening. This is sort of a takeoff of a White Russian with the effin' black cherry and vanilla vodka that you may have seen in my recent Dominic's haul. And what I did is I took 2 ounces of the effin' black cherry vodka, 1 ounce of Kahlua, and I mixed it over a whole bunch of ice. And then I just added about ½ an ounce of 2% milk. A traditional White Russian would be just regular vodka, Kahlua, and cream. And honestly, it's better with cream, but just a dash of 2% milk in this was enough to give it just a little bit of creaminess. And that black cherry vodka with the Kahlua, gotta say it's sort of a winning combination. So there's 2 drinks for the price of 1. Hope you enjoyed the first ever Don's Cocktail Corner, the first of many, I'm sure. And I hope you guys have a great evening. Cheers.